Bravissimo, everyone. Hello and welcome to the Italian Grand Prix of Season 5 of ALR Gold then. And well, we have, oops, let me just turn myself down. Oh gosh, that's horrific, isn't it? Oh good gosh. Right, yes, so yes, we're here tonight for ALR Gold. This is the Italian Grand Prix, round 15 out of 22. And Emerson, I think, is about 44ish points away from being crowned a double world champion. And he'll be the earliest world champion in ALR history in terms of, well, in terms of the season, in terms of the season length, anyway, because I think that Nigel was world champion on round 17 out of 18, wasn't he? So at the moment, Emerson is on the verge of greatness, isn't he? And he will like another event, just like last time we was here last season, where Emerson got pole position, fastest up, and the race win as well, didn't he? Absolutely dominated last season, a spectacle. Over the previous seasons, Granty also a double world champion as well, won it back in season 3 and season 2, and Jacob Bradbury won it in the first ever season of AR, didn't he? That record held around here is actually by Emerson as well, of a 119 now. The race lap record, the all-time lap record is a 118 then, so a 118 at 204. So keep an eye out for that then for tonight. Then of course this circuit, it's only got 11 turns, so it's not too difficult, is it really, to get from A to B, I suppose. Also, thank you very much to our new subscribers as well. Absolutely grateful as always. Said, and I had a list somewhere and I've lost it, so I'll try and read them out in the not too distant future. But what I do need to read out first is the drivers and the constructors standings. As I've mentioned, 182 points is up left for grabs then in the World Championship. Emerson is 138 in front at the moment, and of course then if he scores 44 points with NASA course without Cartboy scoring any, then he will be the world champion then. So that's the brief that Emerson's got to do in the next few weeks or so then. So Emerson leads the world championship on 138 points, then Cartboy is second and 138 points back then from Emerson. Cartboy nevertheless then, yes, he's had a great season, hasn't he? 31 points back is Knowlesy then. His championship charge just filtered out over the mid-season, unfortunately. Let's see if we can have a strong end to the season, but he has won 3 Grand Prix this season, so I think that's still a very successful season. Milan has got the expectation of the Tifosi here tonight, haven't they? Of course, him and Mr. Elite then are driving the Ferrari team. Of course, Mr. Elite's got happy memories of this place last season, didn't he, when he was a part of that historical 1-2 for the Renault team, with Emerson winning and Mr. Elite second, and a great performance indeed from both the Renault teams. Mr. Elite would love to have something similar here again here tonight winning. Of course, I think we had 2 1-2s, didn't we, over the event last season, as we also had the Williams team getting a 1-2 in the bronze class as well. So very good stuff indeed then. So Milan's 1 point away from Knowles in that covenant third position in the World Championship, because of course you get a trophy, don't you, for being third then, which I gotta say is quite important, isn't it, I would say. Total P's in 5th position, 6th position is Gernman, 7th is Liam, who's 1 point behind Gernman. Unfortunately, Gernman has had to drop out because he's got a shoulder injury. Remember, he raced quite heroically last week, didn't he, in the Belgian Grand Prix, but unfortunately is unable to return. As I think that he should be. I think it's a very sensible option to focus on next season, is it, for Gernman? And I think he's had a very successful start to his gold career as well, with 2 Grand Prix wins this season. Or was it one? Indian Jesus in 8th position then. 9th position is V Todd. In 10th is Mr. Elite as well. It is very close then from V Todd downwards. It's really very much nip and tuck. In the relegation zone at the moment, we have Summerwing, Gunnar, and also William then, who are yet to get off the mark then in the bottom 3 of the championship. In the constructor standings, Renault are leading by 127 points then. AlphaTauri are in second position in the AlphaTauri in their home Grand Prix here tonight as well. Tango's left the session. Hopefully that's he'll come back and doesn't exit too many times tonight. 45 points from the AlphaTauri team is McLaren. They were dipping form, but they have seemed to get back on it as well, and they got a debutant in their ranks tonight. We'll talk more about the debutants in a minute. Racing Point are 4th. They're 18 points away from the McLaren team. Alfa Romeo in 5th, and there's very much nip and tuck then, because Haas are 8 points away from Alfa Romeo, but unfortunately I've got Gurman, have they, for this event at the very least, maybe even longer than that. We've got Mercedes, who are 8 points away from the Haas team as well. Williams are 12 points away from the Mercedes. And we've got Ferrari, who have got in front of Red Bull in 9th and 10th position as well. And Ferrari have got a very solid lineup indeed, haven't they? They're just taking a look at infamous Pillars then, who is making a return tonight to ALR. So welcome back, Pillars. Of course, if any of you long-time fans remember Pillars, of course, he made his debut back in the Vietnamese Grand Prix in season 3. That doesn't sound right to me. I think it might be 4, actually. Or is it 3? I don't know. No, because Vietnam wasn't in season 4, was it? His best position in gold then was 6th position. He's only had 3 starts in gold, but let's see if he can improve on that tally here tonight as well. So it's great to see Paint's back. Great to see Pillars back, I should say. And he is driving in the Williams team, and as he comes across the line, he is the first driver to put a time on the board. Fantastic stuff then from Pillars then. And we got a Alfa Romeo coming up then behind him as well, but Vitot is currently just starting a lap. Just taking a look, there's a Ferrari of Milan then, who is of course it's only his second Grand Prix with the Scuderia here tonight, but he's got a lot of expectation on his shoulder, and Mr. Elite has tonight. Well, that's as he puts a time on the board there from Milan, and he's about 2 seconds away from Pillars in the Williams end, so he'd be a bit disappointed by that. Milan. Diego in second position at the moment. Good stuff indeed then for Diego. But just to say that's Delaf, the only Haas car in the field at the moment, and as Delaf is of course in full tonight for German, and unfortunately we've got no German or Cowie tonight then, so Delaf will be flying the flag for the American based team then. So let's see what he did, and unfortunately his Grand Prix didn't go too well, did it, last week? So hopefully onwards and upwards then for Delaf, and of course he was driving the yellow submarine. Well, here's one of our debutants here tonight. We're on board with him now. Welcome then to the McLaren team of with Indian Jesus not racing here tonight. I'm sure Indian Jesus made his debut here last season, didn't he? But it's Kimi Matov then. I think that's how I say it. I apologise, but I'm just going to call you Kimi because it's a shorter word for me to say. He's currently 5 tenths a second off Pillars, and I think that's a very good time to start it off as well. Not too shabby at all there for the McLaren driver. So welcome, Kimi. I hope you enjoy your stay in ALR. We've got the second Ferrari of Mr. Elite, who as we mentioned then already on the stream, then he finished second in the well, that's not Mr. Elite. I think I'm looking at the other Ferrari, and it's Milan who's gone fastest there. Yeah, well, I got the wrong Ferrari, so Milan has gone fastest by 4 tenths a second from Pillars in second position then. Good stuff indeed there for Milan, and yes, that's what we want to see. And of course the Ferrari are expectant of a Grand Prix win here tonight. The Scuderia, the Tifosi. Pease has gone second fast, and Pease is of course he is normally in the Williams, but he has stepped away from the full-time Williams seat, hasn't he? As of course he's got to focus on all those studies and stuff then, and goodness me, and that's a strike, brilliant. But Pease then is a step away from the full-time Williams seat, so he's a super sub tonight for the Alfa Romeo team then. So he's got a lot on his shoulders as well, hasn't he, in the Super 7 for the Alfa Romeo. Of course, even though they're from Sweden, of course the Alfa Romeo brand is also Italian as well. Los Sols goes second fastest in the Red Bull. Of course, there's a lot of there were some fisticuffs, wasn't there, last week after the Belgian Grand Prix between Emerson and Los Sols, but hopefully they've put that to one side now, haven't they? As it was getting very much hot under the collar, wasn't it? With as unfortunately Pillars got a drive-through penalty after, and I think he also got damage as well, didn't he? So unfortunately under the virtual safety car at the Belgian Grand Prix, and Pillars was very quick that day, and I think he possibly could have won that race as well. But unfortunately, so for ashtrays, ifs is F1 spelled backwards. Gunnar comes into the pits. So yes, so that's just the way it is, unfortunately. Got Dynamo Dan coming out of the final turn as well. Liam is still in the pits at the moment. Then I was just seeing who else was out there. Jonathan on his home Grand Prix here tonight. Then the British Italian driver is see where he comes in as Dynamo Dan goes across the line to start his time now. Emerson is gone third fastest at the moment. Then he's a couple of tenths away from the ultimate race pace. The ultimate qualifying pace at the moment. On board then with the home hero. Here he is, and Jonathan Cox then, the British Italian driver then in the Renault. Of course, I hate to say it, but Jonathan's had a lot of wretched luck around Monza, hasn't he, over the years? But let's see if we can put that behind him as well. And he's had a very difficult season as well, hasn't he? The British Italian driver having 17 points, having 17 points in 11 Grand Prix start is not really it doesn't measure up for a driver of his talents, does it? So Jonathan has had a very stop-start season, which is very like him, isn't it? Because Jonathan is very much ever present in the ALR, so in ALR's the ALR world, isn't he? So it's very unusual to see Jonathan not having all the starts this season. I think he's had a very stop-start season, and at the moment it's unfortunately in terms of stats it's his worst season to date in ALR, but it's not over yet, is it? So Jonathan can definitely turn that around. I have no doubt about it, as I'm not ashamed to say I am very much a Jonathan Cox fan. Out of the final turn then is Equals, and he comes across the line. He is 12th fastest at the moment. He might have to find a bit more time in that Mercedes that if he wants to feel a bit more safe. William there hasn't actually scored a point in the McLaren yet, as in I find that absolutely criminal, really, because he is a very quick customer, to say the least. Let's go to the comments, shall we, since I have been absolutely ignoring you, which is appalling, isn't it, from my side. Bulky is first, then Emerson, hello, good evening, Emerson. Equals, good luck, gold, then Ayrton, hello, good evening, Ayrton. Goran, I think that Goran's one of our newest we've got a Ferrari cruising, and I think Mr. Lee is okay. Yeah, he's okay then. As I seen a yellow flag and a Ferrari retired, and I automatically thought one of the Ferraris was in the wall out of the Ascari chicane, then, which would have been absolutely horrific, wouldn't it, for the Italian team and for us as well. William now breaking down into the first chicane then. We have got Goran, who is a newest of our subscribers. Welcome, Goran. I hope you enjoy the coverage of ALR Gold here tonight then. Of course, we got 3 more rounds up tonight as well. And of course, we got silver, bronze and cobalt. We could take up almost over half the week now. Goodness me. There's so much coverage of Formula 1 at the moment. It's absolutely spectacular, isn't it? And of course, with the announcement of the release of F1 2021, looking forward to that as well. And of course, there as the season will hopefully be getting underway sometime in July for ALR season 6 there. But keep that one, keep your ear open then, as of course the calendar will be announced in due course. But I think I'm getting too far ahead of myself, because we need to finish off season 5, and there's a lot of things that we still have to we basically have to determine who's going to be the world champion. We have to determine about the constructors as well, and who's going to finish where, and who is going to be bowing out of gold at the end of the season. Unfortunately, here comes William. Currently he is one of those drivers on the list to be bowing out of gold, because he's in the relegation zone. He needs to find a couple of points then, doesn't he? And William goes 6th fast at the moment, and he just needs to get to the checkered flag. I think that surely has to be the aim. What about Cartboy? He's 2nd in the world championship. Cartboy's been absolutely magnificent. He's been my driver of the season so far, and that's a very big statement. He goes 10th fastest. Good stuff indeed then. And got Nosey then. There's Emerson there, is just in front of North then. There's 2 DRS zones around here. We'll come back to that in a minute. Kimmy saying ha ha ha, as Goran saying, oh my OMG Kimmy, let's go. We've also got Bark saying Kimmy with a dab as well. Love the stuff, Ben. Farf, good luck, gold. Farf watching from the bar. Oh gosh, there's I think that's a really good idea for a podcast we have, isn't it? Farf in the bar is I've got to say, he always sounds like he's in the bath when he talks to us after the races, so I'm not sure if he's in there or not. Apparently he isn't, but I don't believe him. Nosey coming over the final corner, out of the final corner then. The parabolic, he's just in front of his teammate by a whisker in the racing point as well, and a 10th second in front of Diego, and I think that's very good there for Nosey, as of course as they're following the P's that line there going through at turn 1. Carboy down in 11th position at the moment. That's I got to say, when I first in that time for Carboy, I thought that I don't think it was that bad of a time. It's not a bad time at all, is it? By if you in the grand scheme of things, but in terms of the gold field, it's going to very much be looking over his shoulder, isn't he? Here comes Liam. Yeah, another driver who I think has had a very good season. Remember, he's come up from silver to gold. This is his first season in gold, and I think he's acquitted himself quite nicely indeed. Liam, yeah, has. I remember he also drives with a VR headset, and I got to say, in a cockpit view, then, which I'm surprised he doesn't get motion sickness. I get motion sickness just walking around. We got Serge Russian, good luck, gold. Gordo saying hello. We got Tin Wink there saying good luck. Equal said, you watching Diggerson, you should have Diggerson there. Gordo saying, Good luck, singular Haas, and of course that is Delafen currently in 15th on the grid at the moment there. 2/10 seconds away from Kimi at the moment, Delaf is, but Delaf, of course, so I think he's in the race lead. Has, so we've got yellow flags on, but there's William there, who's quite happy with 6th position moment, but Liam is not too happy with his time yet because he hasn't set a time in the Mercedes, has he? Oh my goodness me, who's out in the background? That's Dynamo Dan, who's got off in a heavy way in the, out of the Ascari chicane there, and Dynamo Dan was in trouble. He's now in major trouble there. He's out of qualifying, he's got off, and the Ascari chicane, and we just seen it in the background, didn't we, when we was watching Liam, who's gone into 14th fastest. There's the Williams car, unfortunately plastered against the barrier, out of qualifying, unfortunately there for Dynamo Dan then, and he looks like he will be started from the back of the field then. Luckily, you can overtake around this circuit then, so Dynamo Dan then has just got to pass 9 other cars to get into a point scoring position there for the Williams driver. Oh goodness gracious me. German saying let's go champ, then Ting as Quinn Ting saying good luck everyone. Cameron Ray said hello and good evening, good luck, and hello Sirius, what's up then. Ascari is oh goodness me, Gordo is using a word there which I can't even say, goodness me. Expecting plenty of invalidations there, as Ascari is audacious. I love that word. I'm going to be stealing that from you, Gordo, is I'm putting it into my dictionary, or thesaurus. Actually, I don't really know what's the difference between a thesaurus and a dictionary, but there you go. That's why I didn't do very well in English. I did very well in the literature part and the oral, believe it or not, but not very well in the language. Here's Kimi going for a second time run as well. It looks like he's already set a time on those tires then, so those are scrub set of soft tires then. Delaf has invalidated this time, unfortunately, so I think as soon as we put the camera on Delaf, he invalidated, so he's not going to be too happy with me. Look at that, is that Kimi there just kissing the gravel there on his debut here tonight in the Italian Grand Prix. The track difficulty that Codemasters explained that set is apparently very easy, which I don't think is it's not very easy at all, really. It is easy if you want to go around the circuit slow, but it's not very easy if you're in the 20s or lower, are you? So it's not very easy at all, really. 10 for a second up, and the second split time is Kimi there, getting very close to the curve there, but lovely still in track limits, and good stuff indeed then. We got Liam saying, I felt like Kimi from Brazil 2003, I think I missed the start. I was having oh goodness me, or was it 2005? I think it was 2005, was it? Because Pelly wasn't Pelly doing something with the national anthem or something? I'm not too sure about that. Is yes, that the infamous line there from 2005. It was a very hot day, wasn't it, that day as well? Kimi has just gone up into 12th fastest. This is ALR's Kimi, not the Kimi Raikkonen from Formula 1, and Tango goes into 8th fast and a much better time. Carboyle's also done a better time as well. He's moved up into 7th fastest now. It's the two AlphaTauri drivers have really started to flex their muscles a bit, haven't they? Good stuff indeed then. We've got Vitor on an outlap as well. Then here comes Liam, yeah, who's in the drop zone at the moment now for the Mercedes. As of late, Liam has started to drop further and further down the field, hasn't he? Which I hope is I'm hoping that he can stop that alarming slide there. But he's done 3 laps on those soft tyres, and gonna see what Vitor can do. He is on the cusp then of being knocked out by less than 100 for a second. Goodness me, this is going to be tight. This one is going through Curb Grande now. Goda saying, was it not Malaysia? I can't remember, to be honest. I think it was 2005. Yes, indeed it was, and I'm sure it was in Brazil because he was leaned up against the very the very noticeable pit wall there, is there? Good stuff indeed then is and just watching Vitor as well, just flicking it through the first Lesmo, now into the second Lesmo. The second Lesmo is cambered quite nicely, isn't it? It's a beautiful corner to drive, it really is. As I've got to just adjust my hairband, there I can see now, and Vitor is 2/10 of a second up. That will pull him in front of Mr. Elite and Kimi. Mr. Elite is back out on the circuit as well. I'm sure that Mr. Elite got knocked out of qualifying 2. I think he was 14th or 15th in qualifying 2 this time last season, but that didn't matter for Mr. Elite, because he got second, didn't he? As Tango's retired from the session, he's back in the pits, safe and sound. Carboy has as well, and Jonathan Cox. So yes, so all those drivers there are very happy then. So I think it's anyone from 10th below them. Vitor has improved by 10th for a second then, but he's not in front of Mr. Elite, is he? So he's going to be very concerned then. Liam has had a better time then. That's a better time. He has put himself into 12th position there, and on a single set of tires. That's pretty impressive indeed. Vitor is now in the relegation zone, isn't he? Going back with the Ferrari of Mr. Elite going through Curva Grande. Remember, the Ferrari are expectant here today, aren't they? Here in Italy. A 10th of a second up in the first split time as well for Mr. Elite as we accelerate out of the second chicane as well into the first Lesmo before get on the power then into the second Lesmo as well. Kimi's retired from the session then in 14th position there. I got for a 2,000 a second in front of Mr. Elite, and he must know something we don't, or he might be a better man, or he feels he doesn't want to waste any more tyres perhaps for the Grand Prix itself. And of course we don't know about the weather or anything like that at the moment, but I quite like No Surprise that at the moment. On qualifying we know the weather because it's absolutely beautiful out there. Look at that then, as it's beautiful and blue, isn't it? Lovely stuff indeed, Dennis. So just watching Mr. Elite out of the Parabolica then. Of course, they took away that gravel from the exit of the Parabolica there a couple of years ago. Mr. Elite doesn't improve. Oh, he is still in the he's still very much in the firing line. VTOD is out of qualifying. VTOD is that's a shame now for VTOD. What about Delaf then? Out of the final turn, and he's almost on the AstroTurf. He is on the AstroTurf, but he's still within bounds. Delaf comes across the line, improves by 0.2 a second, but he is not through, unfortunately. He is out of qualifying as well. Nosey has just gone into 8th fastest. Good stuff indeed there from the Racing Point driver. We're just watching Gunnar. He's invalidated this time as well. Mr. Elite is going quicker though, but I think the Mr. Elite is safely through into qualifying 2 by the skin of that nose cone on that Ferrari. Good stuff indeed there from Mr. Elite then. So, both Ferraris are through in the qualifying. There's Milan there just done his work quite early on in the session, didn't we? But at the end of that session, we lost Soul as quick as there. By 0.2 of a second. If that's worth anything, but I think it is, definitely. But remember, this first qualifying session was about eliminating the bottom 4 drivers tonight. Unfortunately, we've lost a Williams. We have lost a Red Bull. I got to say, the 2 Racing Points are looking very strong around here tonight, aren't they? With Nosey in 8th position, Diego in 9th bed as a team then. But I think the Nosey would like to get further up than that. But I got to say, both of them are ticking along quite nicely, aren't they? Good stuff indeed then. Just watching Delafa come back into the pits, and he's in 17th on the grid then for the Italian Grand Prix. So we've lost a Williams there, unfortunately. We've also lost a Red Bull, a Haas car, VTOD, also out of qualifying as well then. So those are the 4 drivers taking the walk of shame at the end of qualifying 1 here in Monza for the Italian Grand Prix. Qualifying 2 is coming up in just a few moments then, where we'll be aiming to lose another 5 drivers, won't we? And that'll be 11th down to 15th as Voigt is just enjoying the scenery as well. Of course, we don't have many spectators in sports events these days, do we, at the moment? But hopefully that will change throughout the year and going on to the end of the season, won't we? As just finishing off, then look at that then. So Lost Souls at a 10th of a second in front of Milan in 2nd position. But so that is very interesting indeed. That Emerson and Pease then once again so close, like they were in Belgium a week ago, but they did come to blows, didn't they, at the top of the hill, along with Tango as well. 3-1 didn't go at the top of the hill into Lake Holm. Unfortunately, Pease had a very difficult Grand Prix, didn't they? Dynamo down out of qualifying. Unfortunately, he went off in a big way at the Ascari chicane. Gunnar out of qualifying as well in 18th position. Laugh in 17th, 16th position is VTOD then. Those are the drivers out there. Other drivers of note then, of course, the British Italian driver Jonathan in 11th position then on home soil at the moment then. We didn't see Jonathan do many laps there, so keep an eye to see what he can do in qualifying 2 then. We got Young Light saying, "Hello, how is everyone doing? I am very well, my good man. I hope you're well indeed." There, Sir Smush and there, of course, Sir Smusham is the only driver in ALR history in silver to participate in every single Grand Prix. By the way, I think I've shared that once or twice, but when Sir Smusham just commented, I just remembered about that. So good stuff indeed. That as Young Light says, "I'm good. How are you?" I'm very well. I'm very well as well. Of course, on this Sunday as well. I also have a day off tomorrow, so I am absolutely over the moon with life. So I cannot complain about that Oh, goodness me. Right then, it's Milan coming out of the pits quite early on here. Los Sols has got a qualifying ban now for the incident that happened in Belgium a week ago there, as he parked a healthy car on the track, unfortunately. Milan there coming out onto the circuit as well. Then we got Williams of Pillars, and once again, then he wants to be first out there. And of course, Pillars driving at the Williams end. Pillars, a four-time Grand Prix winner in silver, if I'm not very much mistaken. Remember that Pillars was was absolutely fantastic in silver, wasn't he? Of course, he did make he made the jump, didn't he, after the Canadian Grand Prix from silver to gold there, didn't he? And him and Dan Murphy was having an absolutely almighty scrap in the early stage of silver. Fantastic start to silver, wasn't it? But of course, that was a season of 2 or 3 halves, wasn't it? It was magnificent. And German there really found his feet, didn't he? Around the French Grand Prix onwards of silver there, and went on that winning streak. Incredible, wasn't it? And then Dan there came back with a vengeance with a couple of races to go, but it just wasn't enough, was it? German there howled his nerve there to claim the second ever silver world champion, didn't he? Pillar's only done 3 races in gold, unfortunately, but let's see what he could do then. As you got Search saying, come on, Pillars, Papa Williams needs them points, and Dean Hammer then, first time here, looking forward to seeing some nice action. Good evening, sorry, Dan Hammer's there, I need to lean forward there. Yes, good evening, Dan. Dan, I hope you enjoy the show. And of course, here in the Italian Grand Prix as well, I'd like to hear what your favourite team is in Formula 1. I'd also like to hear what is your favourite racing. And did you enjoy the race today in the San Marino Grand Prix, which I know it's not called the San Marino Grand Prix. It's called, what's it called? The Emilia Rodrigo Grand Prix or something like that. Well, that's going to be fun when I have to say that in season 6 of ALR. Goodness me, I'm not looking forward to that, am I? And I know, just accelerating away then. D Ashley saying, having a great evening, everyone. From D Ashley, of course, he won the last race in COBALT, didn't he? D Ashley's first ever Grand Prix win in an ALR league. Fantastic stuff there. As Hammer said, you can call me Hammerhead Ginger Age. Hello, Hammerhead, then I hope you're well. And of course, yes, so it's welcome to the stream, my good man. I hope you enjoy the action then as well. Thank you all for joining us at the moment. 28 viewers. Goodness me, I've got to say, I've got to sound a bit more professional, don't I? I will have to get me old thesaurus out eventually, won't I? And just try and sound a bit more intelligent. But there we go. Yeah, saying great. You mentioned that. Yes, indeed. Then of course, I think that is that Hammerhead. It's Pillars coming out of the final turn. Then he has gone fast as he's done a 19.6. He is on the medium tires, of course. So isn't he? So I think that is Milan then, who is cruising there because he's got some kind of issue in that Ferrari. And look at that. He's I'm not sure if he's doing a bit of a burning rubber there as he down the back straight there into the parabolica. That is nowhere near top speed for the Ferrari, albeit if anyone does make any jokes about last season's Ferrari car being a bit slow, I think he can go a bit quicker than that then. There's accelerating the way then, so Milan is going to go for a second bite of the cherry now. We got Diego, as I've gone completely wrong the wrong way, who's on the soft tyres. Diego, but he abandons that time and comes up back in the pits then. Kimmy's also abandoned as well. There's a lot of drivers abandoning their times. Pease has invalidated his time as well on the medium tyre. And we'll see what occurs there. So we're going to stick with Equals at the moment, and hopefully he doesn't abandon his time then, as I feel like everyone's abandoning their time around here at the moment. We have got Sir Rush say best part today was Russell getting a good look at the Mercedes aerodynamics then. Yes, it was a hefty old shunt, wasn't it? I gotta say, I wasn't really sure who to put the blame on it first, because I generally went. I've got to say, I automatically thought Bottas at first, but that's because I am more of a Russell fan than a Bottas fan, which is very, which is a bit, which is not very good of me, is it really? But well, in terms of putting the blame on some other driver before I even said it, but I think as Equals coming into the final turn as well, Carboy has set a time. He is a 10th of a second away from Pillars at the moment then, but yeah, it was. I got to say, I'm very difficult to put blame on, but I think it might be 60-40 in Russell's favour in terms of blame, but that's just my opinion. But luckily, I'm not a steward. As Equals there is just done a 21.991 there. Who is that? That's Pease. Pease is off the circuit out of the first Lesmo, and he's in the gravel trap there. It's great to see gravel traps, isn't it, around these old school circuits. I quite liked in Imola today. It's great, isn't it, to see? And of course, there's a lot of muddy old tyres. William there is just coming across the line there to start us off. Emerson with the lovely Italian-inspired helmet. I love that. Fantastic stuff indeed there. Jonathan there is on a lap then. Liam is invalidated his time. Knowles just started as well. So let's go on board with Emerson then. As we mentioned in the start of the broadcast, he's about 44 points away from being crowned a double world champion, isn't he? He could potentially be crowned the double world champion at the Singapore Grand Prix in a week's time then. And I got to say then, he's pretty impressive, isn't it? Emerson goes fast there, 10th for a second in front of Pillars at the moment. Really good stuff indeed that as Pizarro is just navigating his way through the final part of the lap. So Jonathan there on the back straight, then going into the parabolica. Jonathan is there, flicks it in quite nicely, then accelerates away out of the parabolica. Then he's keeping a lot of the track on the outside spare then, so he has got a bit of time in the pocket there, Jonathan has, and that's a very good time there on the medium tires there. Jonathan third fastest at the moment then. Lovely stuff indeed then. William there is just on the final part of his lap then. Here's Nosey down the back straight as well. Car 94 in the racing point as well, which I've got to say looks very similar to a COBALT driver, doesn't it, with the same colour helmet, number and car as well. And we'll find out on Wednesday who that is. Nosey is going the sixth fastest and a couple of seconds in front of Equals at the moment. And there's a bit of a there's a big disparity, but disparity, I don't know. There's a big difference in times. There we go. Big difference in times then between the drivers at the moment there, isn't there? And you see Williams at a 26, which is not his out and out best, is it? Liam on the soft tires and going through the first Lesmo as well. Let me try and catch up there. Looking up to the gold guys today. Wednesday is our day for COBALT. Indeed it is, and looking forward to COBALT. A cracking race, wasn't it? And there's a lot of action in COBALT. I absolutely enjoy it. It's a great way to it's a great day to finish off your Wednesday. AlphaTauri getting amazing slipstream, and we've also got Diashi, Let's Go, Emerson and Alex and Young like saying, come on lads, break those records. And Serious was saying an insurance firm said that Russell he hit the back. And we have also got Serious was saying that you worked it out yet, Ayrton. And yes, Ayrton has got the dab and the P-side as well. So Liam goes fastest, 4/10 of a second in front of Emerson, but he is on the soft compound tyres. Mr. Lee, we're back on board now in the Ferrari. He is coming down into turn one, but before we do, we're going to continue with Mr. Elite then, as going out into break it into the first chicane as well before accelerating away, and now coming into the Curva Grande. Of course, Sarah's as we had an incident there last season, didn't we, in Bonds? What's it? I think it was Welsh Maldonado, and she came together with someone, didn't she? I can't remember who it was. Purple in the first sector for Mr. Elite then, before he goes over the second chicane as well, running onto the gravel side there. That is inch perfect there from Mr. Elite. Good stuff indeed. Yellow flags is floating down in the Ascari chicane. Then Mr. Elite's back in there, trying to get a bit wobbly for the second Lesmo as well. Accelerated away. 2 DR zones around here. One out of the second Lesmo, one out of the Parabolica. That's all you need for Italy, isn't it? Because as Gordon said, it is very much about the slipstream as well. You already mentioned about the AlphaTauri and the great slipstream, didn't he? Earlier on in this event then, in the stream I should say, and accelerating away, then coming down the back straight as well, and going into the Parabolica for Mr. Elite then, before accelerating away then as he goes onto the green AstroTurf end. So yes, Mr. Elite is using all the track. Remember, Jonathan didn't on his quick lap. Mr. Elite goes 8th fastest there, and he is through into qualifying 3 as it stands at the moment. Milan is gone and thrown on the soft tyres here then in the second Ferrari. So how important is strategy going to be around here then? Well, in the past year said a one stop is very much the quickest way, and I think it is going to be the quickest way in the modern Pirelli era as well. Milan goes fast on an 18.8 there. Very impressive time there from Milan. He is looking very on it tonight, isn't he, in the Ferrari? And of course that is what the Ferrari fans want to see, as Kimi's gone wide there at the Ascari chicane. That curb bites you, doesn't it? And Kimi got to say very well controlled there from Kimi, but unfortunately on this lap he's had to abandon this one, and that could be crucial then. He qualifies starting this lap as well, then going into the first chicane. I got to say that looked a bit scruffy there from Equals, didn't it? And I think he's abandoned this time. He has abandoned the time, and so is Kimi abandoned his time as well. There's a lot of abandoning going on out there, isn't there? Young Light saying, "Call Mr. Lee. I remember when I took my first pole here. Yes, of course, Young Lights took his first pole here back in season 3, didn't he? Good stuff indeed there for Young Lights. I think he had 3 pole positions in his career, if I'm not very much mistaken. And he also had a Grand Prix win at the Dutch Grand Prix last season, didn't he? Fantastic stuff. I got to say, this track is a pain for warnings and penalties. Jonathan is back. Yes, indeed, it's a Vintage. Hey, everyone. Good evening, Vintage. Hope you're well. And, I lost my hairband last night, so I've got this new one, and this new one keeps falling off my head. And, there you go. Then that's what I get for playing on a trampoline. Right then, as Equals is just coming down the back straight. He is invalidated time as well, so I'm going to stay with Mr. Elite. He is not on a lap either at the moment, as everyone has abandoned me, haven't they, by the sounds of it? But Carboy hasn't. He's on the medium tires as well. So in terms of strategy, I'm not sure how I would say it's probably what I'm not sure about the strategy around here. I must say, I'm not sure about the strategy around any circuit. Let's be fair about it. But one stop is probably the way to go, because over the years, whether it's Bridgestone, Michelin, Pirelli, or Goodyear, one stop was the quickest way to go around here. More often than not, wasn't it? As Carboy having a tank slapper on the Parabolica, and that is ruined this time and his next lap as well. So he's abandoned this, come into the picture with 3.5 minutes to go. So as the pillars has just gone faster, he has gone onto the soft tires now, and that is going to move the goalposts, isn't it, for these drivers? And remember, this is about getting into qualifying 3. This is not about lining up the grid from 1st to 10th. This is about lining up the grid from 11th to 14th then. And we got Diego into the first lesson. We got Pete just coming out of the first lesson. And we got William there into the Ascari chicane as well. His first time run there. 5 seconds off the pace of Equals, and I think he can go a lot quicker than that, can he? As we're coming down the back straight as well then. And look at that, we've got a couple of cars in front of us, and that's a car right on the entry there into the Parabolica. Mr. Elite there trying to get out of the way is a very nice as possible there, I've got to say, for Mr. Elite there. But I wonder if I did distract William slightly. Well, I didn't in terms of the time on the sheet there. He is third fastest in the McLaren, and of course McLaren there McLaren do need a big score, don't they? They've been dropping down the order in the constructors as of late. Tolpiz coming across the line, and he says a very competitive time. Tolpiz goes straight to the top of the sheets as Diego goes 6th fast, as a 10th of a second away at the moment. So in the drop zone we have Knowlesy, we have Elite, Equals, and Kimi, all having a couple of gremlins so far in this first and the second qualifying session. What can they achieve? And let's go with Kimi Matesviz then, as on board then with the McLaren. And look at this, where's he going to break? Just after the 100-meter board, break it down into second gear, 50 miles an hour, climbing over those curbs as well for Kimi before accelerating away then. Vintage saying, come on Mercedes, and Mercedes are currently 5th and at 13th then, but there is a long way to go. 2 minutes is a long time in Formula 1, isn't it? And so there's still a long way to go then. 2/10 of a second up in the first split time on Kimi's personal best time. That's not on the all-time session best, that is just on a Kimi's personal best time as well in car 14 then. We've got Liam saying, Milan didn't even give me a chance to screenshot me BMP when I was going to crop the tyre compounds out there. Don't worry if I'm sure that you can just go back on the stream, Liam, and then do it like that then, because that's what I do when I'm P1. We've got Kimi, who's gone at half a second quicker in the second split time. Very good time indeed then out of the Ascari chicane. Very neat and tidy there from Kimi. 1 minute to go in the qualifying session, and this is a very quick lap around here, isn't it? And this is the in terms of the average speed, this is the quickest, so this is the fastest track, isn't it? And this is also going to be one of the quickest in terms of times for Grand Prix here this season. Then we go to one of the longest times, don't we? I just feel like I'm saying deja vu here. Kimi goes 7th fastest in the Ferrari. Good time indeed there for Kimi. And we got Milan there is currently retired from the session, and he's third fast there. The 2 Renaults there, I wonder if they're going to be playing a bit of slipstreaming around here, because they're very close together, and Nolte starting this lap as well. And so Nolte, let's go on board as the man who's third in the World Championship, 3 Grand Prix win this season, hasn't he? Nolte has this is the most successful Nolte's ALR career he's had to date this season. Been very impressive, hasn't he? Breaking down into also 50 miles an hour as well, locking up the inside right front tyre there, and good goodness me, and that would have sent him slightly wide there into the first chicane. I gotta say, it's incredible how inch perfect these drivers are there, doing it time after time. They're breaking in almost exactly the same places. Absolutely mega stuff indeed then. And they're breaking down into the second chicane as well. And they're very much keeping it within track limits. Our track limits, as we've heard in the comments, is quite brutal and challenging around here as well. And if we're going to go off, we're going to go off in the big way. Hamilton went off in the big way between the two last modes in 2009, which mathematically ended his challenge for the World Championship in the McLaren days, unfortunately. And so that was a big shame there for Hamilton there, as he was pushing it far too hard at that stage of the Grand Prix. And also they're floating it through a scar chicane. That's exactly how you want to go for your scar chicane. Very much inch perfect, neat and tidy as well there from the three-time Grand Prix winner. Now he's coming up into the parabolic as well. Look up, no one behind him, no one in front of him. I gotta say then, it feels like a test day here for Knowlesy, doesn't it? There's no one out around him. Out of the final turn then, is this going to get him through into qualifying three? He's full fastest. That is putting him in a shout, I think then. We got the Renault boys then, and Jonathan's invalidated his time now. Jonathan is out of qualifying. I think that's a major problem there for Jonathan. Oh goodness me then, and he's giving the AlphaTauri a bit of a lovely tow there, but Jonathan is going to be out qualified, I think, unless the session stops now. Unfortunately, I don't think it will for Jonathan. Emerson comes across the line. He is second fastest there. Jonathan there out to the final turn then, and Tango goes in to ninth fastest. And Liam is not improved there, and that is going to put him very much in the rounds of being knocked out. And Carboy is through into qualifying three as well. That was too quick for me, as we're on board with Carboy going in to turn one as well then. So let's just take a look to see who's out of qualifying, because it just flicked off for me way too quickly. Out of qualifying then, it's Lost Souls qualifying two ban. Mr. Lee out of qualifying. That's a shame there for Mr. Lee. Jonathan invalidated his final time there, and he's down in 13th position. Equals is 12th, and Diego missing out then by 2/10 a second there, and unfortunately he's out of qualifying. Everyone in the top 10 is starting on the fastest tyre, which is the soft tyre around here, and it's Total P's, Emerson, Pillars returns to ALR with a bang here in the Williams, fantastic. Milan in 4th, Tango 5th, Carboy 6th, Knowlesy 7th, Kimi on his debut, great hustle there from Kimi in 8th position there, in front of his teammate William, and William is held in quite high esteem in ALR in 9th, and 10th position is Liam, as we approach qualifying 3 then. And of course, the last three pollsters have all been different. We had the Total P's in the British Grand Prix took pole position. Jonathan Hungarian Grand Prix, and Emerson took it. Lovely shot here from the Alfa Romeo and the Renault, and now we flick back to where we normally are. So we've had our three pole positions, three different pole sitters, haven't we? In the last three Grand Prix, had two Renaults and Total P's as well. In terms of pole positions this season, Emerson is on 7 at the moment now. Very good stuff indeed. Then Jonathan's had one pole position, as we've heard, in the Hungarian Grand Prix. We also P's had a pole position in the British Grand Prix as well, didn't he? He loves that. Milan's had 3 pole positions in the Ferrari. Can he get a 4th? And that'll be his season best in ALR if he gets a 4th one. He's only ever had 3 in his ALR career, but he's only been in 2 seasons in ALR. This is his second season, of course. We've also had German, who had a pole position earlier on in the season back in the Canadian Grand Prix, didn't he? Those are our Hall of Famers then for the pole sitters then. And we're on board then with Milan, and of course he's going to have the Tifosi expectations very much weighing on his shoulders, and Pillars is out first once again then, and Pillars is taking no chances with traffic. He wants a clear circuit, and that's indeed what he's got then. Both McLarens there and Mercedes are not coming out just yet, are they? They're not very keen on coming out at this moment in time then. And let's see then what Gordo's asking, is anyone going to try and steal a tow then, which I think is a very good option, isn't it? Pillars is not going to steal the tow because he's the first driver out there, and Emerson ain't going to steal the tow either, but there's an Alfa Romeo with P's behind him which might be stealing the tow. I wonder if we're going to get a couple of gamesmanship then into the Parabolica as well. And Equals expecting a battle with Mr. Elite as usual. It's been a cracking season, hasn't it? Serious Western, Diego is in a great position now, and so Vince just saying it's 5/10 seconds between the top 10. Very impressive and quick times indeed, isn't it? So out of the final Parabolica then, whilst Pedersen is on a lap on his lonesome then, as Pease has dropped back slightly. He's dropped back quite a bit actually, and then the two AlphaTauri drivers there, Stina Slipstream then from the Ferrari and the Alfa Romeo, the two Italian cars then, as well as all Italian there, isn't it? Of course, Alfa Romeo, Alfa Tauri, and the Ferrari as pillars are going into the first chicane as well. And everyone is on circuit, apart from William then. I'm wondering if William has used an extra set of soft tyres earlier on in the session then. And that might be why then is pillars are hugging a bit too much of the curb, I feel, in Curva Grande. 25.7 in the first intermediate split time, breaking down into fourth gear, accelerating away as well, getting on the not so loud pedal these days. Of course, when they had the V10s and 12s around here, the cars were screaming, weren't they? Going around the Italian Grand Prix circuit. Absolutely brilliant to watch, isn't it? This is the lowest downforce configuration track on the calendar, isn't it? So, of course, they've got their rear wings are going to be very skinny. They're going to be like T-trays, aren't they, as Ted Kravitz used to say. And now coming up into the Ascari chicane of 52 in the second split time then. Not bad for Pillars. And could he, on his return there, get a pole position there? First pole position in is a gold career then. What a return then for Pillars, as he has now got one more decision to make here on this lap then. Where to break into the Parabolica, touching 208 miles an hour. Slings it in there, slings it out, runs a bit wide there onto the AstroTurf, over the line, and he goes fast as that on an 18.5. What about Emerson then out of the final turns. Right, he's had 7 pole positions. Can he have 8 pole positions this season? He has so far. A 10th of a second in front of Pillars. What about Pease coming across the line? Pease is third. Fourth, I should say, because Cardboy is up in the third position. They're coming through thick and fast. Milan is third fastest. It's a whisker. It's incredible. And we got Tango in 6th position as well. Kimmy on the back end of the circuit then. And look at this, Emerson 18.4, 18.5 for Pillars then. Nolsey and 18.8 then. That is an incredible start then to this qualifying session. Emerson at 18.4, 18.5 for Pillars and 18.5 for Milan, 18.6 for Cartboy. Oh my goodness me, then it is very close, isn't it? There's a whisker run between the top 4 at the moment then. What about Kimmy out of the final turn as well? Let's see what the McLaren driver can do. No, he's abandoned this time at the very last second, comes into the pits then, and he's going after one. It looks like he's only going for one run, unless he's going to fuel it up and go for maybe 2 runs. And of course, if he does though, he has to turn that fuel as well, isn't it? He will lose time throughout the whole of the circuit, won't he? It's about to break in that fuel, accelerating that fuel, turning that fuel as well, isn't it? So the weight penalty might be a bit too great in this qualifying session on this circuit then. And just Russian Masters Tango used tires then. Unfortunately, the graphic don't really tell us that, does it? It only tells us about this run in particular. But that was a very good shot there from Serious Mushers. Gordo is very impressive at times, as Young Knight's also saying everyone is looking at slick indeed then, unless he's on about those tyres, of course, as we do have slick tyres in Formula 1 these days. The last time we ran groove tyres in Formula 1 way back in 2008 now, which they only ran them for like 10 years, didn't they? The groove tyres, and of course that was an attempt to slow the cars down. Then they went back to the slick tyres because they improved overtaking apparently then 2009, didn't they? Which was cool. I think it was a last minute kind of change really, wasn't it? Because nothing was touched, but nothing really was spoke about in the off season kind of thing. Now all of a sudden, I think it was like I read it in Autosport like about a week or so before testing. So that was very odd there, but there we go. Anyway, we've got. Did you say an 18.2 was Paul last year, Sean? Let me just take a quick old look at my old spreadsheet. It is a 18.204 as the last season's pole position there from Emerson there. So currently there are 2 tenths of a second off the pace of Emerson from last season alone, and that's a very good spot there. Equals, I'm glad someone listens to me. Oh, William has invalidated his time. He is, oh goodness me. Has he got enough fuel for go for another run, or is he going to abandon this time and come back in the pits then? Yeah, they are 2 tenths of a second off of last season's pole position time at the moment, which is quite surprising, really, isn't it? Oh goodness me. And quite interesting indeed, isn't it? Gordo's asked about the Miami Grand Prix for next season. He's not a fan of the configuration layout. I got to say that I believe it when I see it, because they've been trying to get that Miami Grand Prix going for a number of years now. So I'm not going to hold my breath. I'm sure it was trying to. I think it was trying to. The start of that was 2018, wasn't it? When it was going to race around the outside of a baseball stadium, NHL stadium. I don't know my American sports really. There we go. But William there is now carrying on and going for a lap then. So we're going to stick with Liam Yeh for the minute, and we'll talk about the Miami Grand Prix in just a few minutes time then. Tango has got 20% on those tyres then. Liam Yeh going through Curva Grande into the first sector then. He has done a 26.027 then as he goes over the curbs as well then, accelerated away, going into the first lesson as well. Look how beautiful it is here in the park here in where are we? We're in Monza. Into the second lesson as well. The car was really refusing to turn in there for Liam, yeah. I felt that he might have lost a bit of momentum then. As he's now got 4 minutes to go in the qualifying session. The track will get quicker and quicker over these next 5 minutes or so. Let's see what we can do. And throwing it into the he's invalidated his time, Liam Hansen. Oh, goodness me. As he ran, yes, he's had issues out with the Ascara chicane, Liam Hansen. I wonder if he's going to come back into the pits, as we've also got William also having issues as well, so he's going to have to come back in the pits as well. 4 minutes to go in the qualifying session. What about Kimi Maitre then, as he is now into the, Ascara chicane. He was so close there. Yellow flag says his teammate there is crawling, and I'm wondering if William is giving his teammate a nice little slipstream here. Indeed he is. That's cracking teamwork there for the McLaren drivers, just like Lando Norris and Ricciardo in the Grand Prix in Imola not too long ago today. As Kimi Maitre out of the final turn then. Let's see what he can do. Comes across the line. He is 7th fastest then in the McLaren. I think on his debut, I think he's done a very good job there. Kimi has he got time for one more run? He has got time, but he hasn't got the fuel in the McLaren, unfortunately, and that is a shame then. And big blow indeed. Young Lights is saying he's quite happy that Formula 1's doing more than one race in the country now. Of course, they had 3 races in Italy last season, didn't they? They had one in Mugello, one in Imola, and of course one in Monza as well. It's fantastic, wasn't it? Back in the good old days, I said good old days, Spain used to have 2 as well, didn't they? They had the Valencia, the Grand Prix of Europe in Valencia, didn't they? And they also had the Spanish Grand Prix in Barcelona as well. Germany also had 2 as well, and the Hockenheim and the Nürburgring. Japan also had 2 as well, didn't they? They had the Pacific Grand Prix in Aida in '94 and '95, and of course they also had the Japanese Grand Prix. Also the Japanese Grand Prix in Suzuka. So there's been a lot of tracks over the years there where they've gone to where they've got Pisa just doing another strike there, going for the first chicane then. Yeah, they've had a lot of tracks over the years there where they've been to the country more than once then. But yes, I do concur. If there's a couple of good tracks in that country, then why not go to? But I do understand that of course you do want to share the tracks out going across the world as well, because I think the Kyalami track has been talked about maybe being back on the calendar in a couple of years' time, which I would absolutely love to see, because it is a world championship after all, isn't it? We got Diego saying it's awesome for me because it's definitely the closest race I'll have in terms of the Miami Grand Prix then, which is scheduled penciled in for 2022, isn't it? So could we go up to 24 races perhaps next season? Good grief, that's a lot, isn't it? And of course Diego's hopefully he's going to try and go some honestly. Me too, Young Lights. But I think there's better alternatives like Kyalami, for example. But for the Americans, I believe they've got some bad GP times, so it's nice for them to have another race set. Unless it was a good track as well from Diego. Then. Yeah, it doesn't look the most exciting in the world, does it? I must say. But then again, I don't think the Saudi Arabia track looks very interesting either, personally. But maybe I'm just wrong about that. But there we go. We got Lam V then. Kyalami, South Africa represent then. Good evening, Leah. Good evening, Lam V. Sorry, Lam then. Good evening, Lam. I hope you're enjoying the show, and I hope you're having a lovely day. I hope you're having a lovely day as well, my good sir. So he just got 2600 a second. Oh, his Pieces took too much curb on the second chicane now, and he is invalidated his time now. He's going to be kicking himself over a minute ago. Has he got enough fuel in the car, Pieces? It looks like it. He's not flashing at the moment now. Milan there is coming through the second chicane as well. We've also got Liam, who is just starting to stop. Then William is also going for another by the chair as well. So we're going to keep an eye on what Milan could do. Accelerating out then, and now into the second Lesmo as well. Yellow flags in for one of the AlphaTauri drivers then, who's just had a couple of gremlins. Milan there on the DRS button there, trying to use a bit of slipstream from Emerson. He is the defending pole sitter as well, going for 8 pole positions of the career of his season here in season 5. And remember, Emerson taking the win tonight then, potentially, as Milan there has abandoned his time then. So he must have seen on the data that he was down then and abandoned that time. So so that's what Milan's doing at the moment. Pillars is 23 hundredths of a second down in the first split time then. Liam then is just coming on the back straight as well. Out of the final turn then from William. Let's see what he can do. As I said, time just there, so an improvement. Oh, he's on pole position there for Liam. For William, fantastic performance there. Look at that, less than a tenth of a second. And William has been on pole position on the Belgian Grand Prix back in season 2. He'll look to be back up there, and we've already mentioned about he's struggled to get off the mark in terms of ALR this season. Wow, that's very good time indeed then. Liam has gone into 8th position in the Mercedes then. Good stuff indeed then. And now we've got Kimi Mative then also out on the circuit as well. We got a Williamson of Pillars improving, and he's on pole position there. And Pillars has crossed the line first on his return. ALR will have his first pole position in gold. Fantastic stuff there. Wow, as a Milan's off the circuit, and that's it. There's not going to be a Ferrari pole position here tonight, unfortunately. Milan is 4th. Oh, he's going to be kicking himself, isn't he? And out of the final turn then, and here comes Nosey. He is 5th fastest in the racing point. Oh, good stuff indeed there. Carboy's invalidated this time. Oh, goodness gracious me. Tango is half a second up in the second split time across the line, and Tango has put himself very much in the mix. I love this. Here comes a Pease. He's invalidated. Pease is invalidated. Liam's invalidated as well. Kimi hasn't invalidated, but what about Emerson? He is the championship leader. He's 2/10 a second up. This might be enough for pole position. It is enough for pole position, and he is back on the on the top step of the grid. Yeah, that would do, wouldn't it? Incredible stuff indeed. Then what about Kimi Mative? And he's 9th fastest on his debut. Fantastic stuff indeed. But it's Emerson, his 9th pole position. No, his 8th pole position of the season as well. Magnificent stuff for Emerson. That's his 2nd pole position in a row. Brilliant stuff. And of course, his all-time career is now set him up to 19 poles then of his career as well. He's one away from being from 20 now as well. Remember that Emerson's one of Emerson's Achilles heel in his early career was the lack of one lap pace, but he has really addressed that, hasn't he? And he's on pole position. Pillars returning with the most famous British team on the F1 field, perhaps in a long McLaren, but he's on road 2 with the other famous British team. William in 3rd position as well. It's great to see. Tango in 4th position there. 5th is Milan with Nolsey in 6th position. Great stuff indeed then. As absolutely mega stuff indeed, and I like it now. Diego's saying, I don't like the fact that basically trashing circuits and going to cities. A couple of streets races are okay, but more than 5 on 6, yeah, it's I do like the traditional circuits. I do. A street circuit does really get the blood pumping, doesn't it? But yeah, too many of them is not great, is it? Anyway, we'll come back to that Miami discussion hopefully a bit later. If not, it'll be tomorrow then. Yeah, just going through the grid then. Look at that, over a 10th of a second. Emerson's in front of Pillars and on pole position then with Pillars returning on the front row. Fantastic. William in 3rd position. Tango is 4th. Milan in 5th. Nosey in 6th position. That's his best result in a very long time in qualifying. Carboy and Pease 7th and 8th. Kimi Mative in 9th position. And Liam, yeah, it completes the top 10. Less than a tenth of a second. Less than a second there. Over the course of the top 10. Fantastic stuff indeed. Lamb saying, great commentary. Keep it up. And my day has been good. Good stuff indeed there, Lamb. Jacob Racing. Go, Kimi. Serious Russian. Go on, Pillars. Gorda saying, I feel you give me a big field and give me money and I could design a track and make it the best in the world. But it ain't just as simple as that, unfortunately. Unfortunately not, then it's quite a difficult process, isn't it, with creating tracks then. As we've also got Branca saying Kimi with the lovely dab as well. Then Diego saying hashtag bring back Malaysia. Cracking times as usual then. As Serious Mercy said, he's seen better. Oh goodness me, but we have got, that's the fastest all-time lap Emerson just did around Monza. Good stuff, Fed. Vintage, good luck. Gold then. Hammer Time saying time for lights out. Good luck, lads, and good luck all from Serious Mushroom as well. Exclamation mark ALR from Ayrton as well. Young Light saying damn, returnee's coming back with a bang. Good luck all then. Serious Mercy saying someone send a Tango invite send. Yes, I think that Farf is probably very much on the case, isn't he? As he's so yeah, Farf is very much probably spammed Tango full of invites. He's probably got them all in his in tray, hasn't he? Right then. And here we go then. So this is 27 laps on the Italian Grand Prix. This is a very much the quickest Grand Prix on all the calendar, isn't it? So in terms of time, and so I've got to say then, if you are sitting comfortably, you won't have to sit comfortably for too long because of because I think it'll be over in like about half an hour, 35, 40 minutes perhaps. Anyway, enough about that. I'm thinking about the end when I should be thinking about the beginning. My goodness me. We've got Emerson, who's on pole position then. His 19th career pole position of his career pole position of his career. That's what it really says, isn't it? Emerson now, but that's his 8th pole position of the season as well then, in 14 races. So he's been on pole position for over half the races, and that is why he is around 44 points away from being crowned a double world champion. Pillars in second position there, William in third position as well. Two returning drivers doing a great job, as Lights just said in the comments. Tango in fourth position, Milan in fifth. I think he might be kicking himself because I think he had the pace there, Milan did, from the first 2 qualifying sessions. Nosey in sixth position, Carboy in seventh. He's a very good racer, Carboy is, do not count him out. Pease in eighth position, Kimi and Mative in ninth position. Great to see Davidson doing a great job there as he's just trimming the grass on the outside. Then he doesn't feel that the Italian grass cutters have done a very good job, man. Liam in 10th position. Great to see Liam back in the top 10. Outside the top 10 is Diego, who's on fresh new medium tires, and Equals in 12th position in the Mercedes, and Jonathan in 13th then in his second home Grand Prix of the season. Mr. Elite in 14th then, with Lost Souls in 15th. He's got a lot to do from there, but if any track where you get a qualifying ban, this is definitely a good one to have. His overtaking is a lot simpler than some races. Vitold then on the hard tires, the only driver on the hard tires. Vike is going for an attacking first strategy. First stint here on the soft tires. Gunnar is 18th. Dynamo down in 19th. Unfortunately, ended qualifying in the classes on the inside of the Ascari chicane. Unfortunately, let's see what we can do then for the Williams then. And as Lam is asked, does ALR do Xbox? Serious Russian says, I don't think so, Lam, I'm afraid. No, unfortunately we don't do Xbox Share, but hopefully we'll have cross-platform for F1 in the not so distant future. I don't think it's happening on the next game, might be the game after. Hammer Time saying, excited to see this race. Well, I'll keep up to date with your comments and as we get going, but unfortunately the first couple of laps in ALR, or fortunately I would say, it's very exciting. I struggle to keep up then. Right then, where are those lights? There are the lights then, but of course I don't think anyone's going just yet, are they? I thought we was going in, but yet the lights are on, but we're not going to worry about too much yet. The revs are on now. Where are we going in here in the Italian Grand Prix? And here we go then. Yes, we have been released. It is go for ALR Gold, the Italian Grand Prix. Vito's got the pole inside, and Carboy has also got past Nosey as well. There's a drag race between the top 2. Look, there's 3 abreast going down turn 1 then. Pillars backs out into turn 1 then. And now we got to, William has got across the chicane. He's got a 3-second penalty right from the get-go. Oh dear, that's going to be costly as well. And Milan is up in the 4th position. We've had some issues. We've had some major issues between Kimi. But Kimi Manstrom has had some issues. Diego's had some issues as well. And it's a yellow flag in the first sector. Then we've got the last finish alongside Lost Souls. He's got up 3 position as well. Gunnar's up 5 position. Then Mr. Lee is attacking. Delaf has had a great start. He's up 6 positions there. He is having a fantastic start there. Dynamo Dan's also up 4 positions as well. Nosey's dropped down to the 16th position there. Oh dear, oh dear. Whoa, someone's off in a big way. Liam's got off in the second Lesbo, in between the Lesbos, I should say that. And the Mercedes and the Pauline start here in Italy. And he's trying to come back up on the circuit as well. Oh dear, it's been a messy start then, hasn't it? But Emerson leads second position is Pillars. William in third position. Look at the top 3. They're starting to break away already. Carboy has got past Tango dropping down the order. Then there's Peas are all over the back as well. Is everyone survived the Ascari chicane? Tango's left possession, and Jonathan's up 5 positions, up 7 positions to last. He's an amazing start on the soft tires, hasn't he? As we go into the parabolica, coming out of the parabolica to laugh, and what a start. And Emerson sets the fast up the racing course. He's the first man to cross the line here in Italy then. That one completed. The gap is 4/10 of a second then. I gotta say, I think that Emerson might be looking over his shoulder. Vike is looking over his shoulder as well. So Solskjaer's all over the back of the Haas car then, as Vike goes in back onto the racing line as well as we go into turn 1 then. And of course you've got to be very careful you don't steam into the back of anyone. So Jonathan has now just got past Tango dropping down the order. Unfortunately then, Pease is very close. He's moving close. Goodness me, he's on the inside of Cardboy into the second chicane. The Milan's locking up there. Look at this there. But Cardboy had the inside there, and he is still in 5th position. And good stuff indeed then as we go into the first. That's what I gotta say. Yes, I've seen some of the comments. Pillars is looking fantastic at the moment, isn't he? We have got oh gosh, that was Tango. Goodness me, then that's really made me jump there. And now we got Vike also past Tango, dropping down the order there. Unfortunately, he's got issues on the Xbox there. Oh well, Xbox. I've got Xbox on my mind. Goodness me. But yes, of course, unfortunately, the issues that Tango has technically has been. Pillars is out of the Grand Prix. He has gone off. It's a virtual safety car. He was looking fantastic. Oh no! And we've had 2 Williamses there on the inside of the Ascar chicane. And Pillars is out of the Grand Prix. He is going to be absolutely furious. Oh my goodness me! And I thought the Tango I not show up in there. And I think Gunnar's taking evasive action now. He's up 7th position. Though Gunnar is a virtual safety car at the moment. Now Pillars is the first retiree then of the Grand Prix. That's 2 Williamses are gone into the inside of the Ascar chicane now out of the Grand Prix. Unfortunately for Pillars then, and what a shame then. We've had 3 pit stoppers then to open this lap up. Open this race up, I should say. Then virtual safety car at the moment, you have to adhere to the delta on your steering wheel, and that's what Gunnar's doing at the moment, and that's why he brakes suddenly. 3 cars in the pits, and DRS has not been enabled. We're back racing. We had Equals, Kimi, Mative, and also Diego have all been in the pits from the get-go, unfortunately, and they're back on board now then. So Emerson's now got a second lead then over a second challenger at the moment. And look at this. So I gotta say, Delaf has had a great start, hasn't he? He qualified 17th on the grid. He's now up into 8th position. Magnificent. The highest runners on the medium tires. Let's keep an eye. Oh my word, Darren! Some lost souls. That's the whole why you have a lot of less downforce on here. The cars are so nervous and they're so twitchy. As Nosey has just got past Gunnar as well, and he's up into an position now. Nosey plummeted down, didn't he? The field, but he's now coming back through the field quite nice indeed. Look at the understeer on Tango's car as he's dropped down 7th position. Lost souls also up to 9th position there. He is gaining, but Vike is now all over the back of Mr. Elite. Mr. Elite and Jonathan are on the medium tires, aren't they? So they potentially could be leading this race in the not too distant future in this Grand Prix. Out of the final turn as well then, and now Right there is all over the back of the Ferrari, and both Ferraris are set 3rd and 7th in the classification. No, they ain't. They're now 3rd and 8th. As oh my word, there as a fight there, quite erratic on the Odom, turning there into turn 1 there, locking up the inside front as well from Fight there as he stamps on the throttle. And who's that? There's Tango and Lost Souls getting very close to him. And look, Nolte is now coming up to behind him as well. Look at these cars, and very close then. And Tango is now very much slipstreaming then. He's now underneath the rear wing of Lost Souls. And he's going to go on the outside then, but Lost Souls there shuts the door there, and he is in he's in 10th position. I think the Lost, oh my goodness me, that's a lot of defending there from Lost Souls. Oh good gracious then, as getting very aggressive on the defence there, isn't he, for Lost Souls, goodness gracious me. But the Lost Souls does not want to lose a position, does he? Diego set the fast half of the race down in 18th position at the moment there, and all over the back of Kim and Kimi Matey there. Peter's got a 3-second penalty. That's 2 cars with penalties so far. William got a penalty right in the first corner of the first lap, unfortunately. We've also got Lost Souls, good penalty as well, but he's going a bit wide then into the Ascar chicane. William is now starting to really put the pressure and the hammer down now, isn't he, on Emerson then? I know we're going into the final corner again then. And have flown it into the parabolica. Emerson is set the fast of the race then. As I've seen it was William and it was catching on him, but I am telling a lie. I absolutely know nothing, do I? As P's there having a look on the inside of Carboy. Oh, Carboy's gone wide though. He's going to hurt on the traction zones here, and P's could have a good run then, coming out into Curva Grande, and it's going to be a Grande move, which that joke has been run into the ground then every time I'm here. But there we go. I just make myself laugh. And look at this, and he's on the inside into the second chicane then, but Carboy slamming the door shut once again then. Yes, Carboy there is not giving up, is he? Of course, he ain't got, no one's going to wave each other through, are they? They shouldn't wave each other through either. This is racing, isn't it? Milan is 2 seconds away at the moment now from William, because at the moment the top 2 are quite quick at this stage of proceedings. William there hasn't got haven't got the mark in terms of points there, have they? And they're flying past us now. Then Diego's setting her fast up. He's absolutely flying. Unfortunately, though, he is kind of out of sync then after having issues there. After having some issues there. And on the curb as well, then coming down the back straight once again, and we got Lost Souls then, who is all over the back now of Mr. Elite. Then Lost Souls, he could be a major thorn in the side of the front runners later on this race, because he would be on the faster tyre. Knowlesy has got past Tango and moved up into a 10th position, and Knowlesy is back into the points then after having a nightmare start in this race then, but a good recovery drive from the Racing Point driver, who is third in the World Championship, of course. But as it stands, then Milan will take a third position there, won't he, away from Knowles then, because Milan there is in the ascendancy, isn't he? And look at this, as coming down to turn one, and you see that there is still a lot of slipstreaming going on, going down into turn one. So Kimi Mative and Vital, the only drivers on the hard tyres. And talking to Vital, he's got past Gunnar, locking up there, stamping on that brake pedal, and Gunnar there is going to have better traction, is he? He is going to have better traction now. He's also using a bit of overtake as well there. It's slipstreaming now. Vital going for a Curva Grande again there, and let's have a look then, back on board with Gunnar, but Vital there, it's had a good wreck there. That's impressive actually, how Vital just pulled away there on the hard tyres. Vital is, and had a bit of a disappointing qualifying session, didn't he, Vital? Gunnar in 13th position, Dynamo Dan is in at 14th at the moment. We'll flip back to them guys in a minute, because we're back to this great battle between Vike, Mr. Elite, and Lost Souls. Tango as well, and then we've got a 5-second deficit between Viton and Tango. We'll see how that plays out then as well. As unfortunately Pillars has just sent the commentary. I called it in the goal chat, as Sam saying Waitie's out then, is such a shame. And yes, Pease was in the Williams, but he's had to take a step back Pease, that's why he's a reserve driver, reserving for the old Alfa Romeo team. So Pillars has been new Williams driver. Unfortunately, Williams' journey started off very well, didn't they, in qualifying? Unfortunately, it's turned into a bit of a nightmare on the opening lap here in Italy. On board with Knowlesy then as well. Then it's Lost Souls just in front of us at the moment, but Lost Souls oh, look how incredible! They just brake exactly at the same time. They're very much world-class drivers, aren't they? This is fantastic. Tango though wants a piece of that action, doesn't he? He wants to get back into the top 10, and he has to get in front of Knowlesy to do so. Look at this, he's right underneath the rear wing of the Racing Point as well, and this is going to be very much about a strategical race, isn't it? And as we Knowlesy there is losing the back end there, and goodness me, I gotta say, well held sir there from Knowlesy in the Racing Point, but Tango, that is definitely feeding his encouragement, isn't it, to overtake Knowlesy and get back into the top 10. Pease, that's another 3-second penalty for William, and these penalties are going to cost him potentially later on this race. Total Pease is still underneath the rear wing of Carboy, who's in 4th position, and at this moment in time has extended his lead over 2nd and 3rd, and over 3rd and 4th in the driver's standings. And we've got Lost Souls who is all over the back, and he hasn't got DRS just yet. I wonder if he's going to wait. He's Parabolica is a very difficult place to overtake, isn't it? Unless he just absolutely throws it in there. He is not going to throw it in there, and then getting on the power as well. But of course, Mr. Elite is going to be towed along, isn't he, by the car in front, which is which of course is the Haas car there. And we've also got Knowlesy and Tango in the background as well. Tango, I think that this looks more likely to be the overtake than the one in front then. And now Tango is up the inside. He's sailing for the inside there. And look at this. There's Knowlesy there is just defending the inside there. But unfortunately, Knowlesy's on the wrong part of track there, isn't he? Because Tango will have the inside into Curva Grande. Oh my goodness me, getting very close. They're almost banging wheels out through Curva Grande, and look at this, and Knowlesy's out look there, but Tango has the position, and he is now back up into 10th position. Knowlesy snatching the brake there and going a bit wide, but luckily no harm, no foul then. Back on board then with Lost Souls. This is a great old scrap at the moment there. William is still within a second of Emerson, but he can't get any closer at the moment, can he? We've then got Milan, who's 2 seconds back along on the Ferrari in the on course for a podium of a Carboy, and Total Pease there is very much keeping Milan on his toes, isn't he? And these guys are keeping me on my toes as well. Vike's had a great start to the Grand Prix, he really has indeed there, and hopefully he can continue Haas, and he's doing Haas a very proud service here tonight, haven't they? With Haas haven't got any of their full-time drivers there, unfortunately, and now going down into the Parabolica as well, and now accelerating away once again, and then at the moment, and I think that William is just running out straight there. He has run out straight going into turn 1, but he is in DRS still. Look at this, and there's another slipstream once again. This is incredibly close. Look at this, and his Tango is gaining. No, listen, this Lost Souls gaining, but again, then he's just too far back at the moment, isn't he? Tango is Sorry, Lost Souls is. I've got to say, they're own almost identical cars, aren't they? Albeit they look completely different, don't they? So really, that's an absolute complete rubbish there, isn't it? Guna's got a 3-second penalty then to his efforts, and Guna had a great start to his Grand Prix, but he's dropped down the order slightly, hasn't he? Locking up then the inside, locking up there at Los Horses and going slightly wide there, lost a bit of momentum. We've got Liam down in 15th position and not making much headway in this Grand Prix so far, unfortunately, for the Mercedes team. And same Vico as well, unfortunately, he had to come to pits early along with Diego and along with Kimi Matev as well. Los Horses has got a 3-second penalty, but he's once again getting very interested in that Ferrari back end, isn't he? And look at this then, is Mr. Elite then, was he defending or was he going for a lunge on Vike then, whatever the case may be, but we're back on board then. Look at this, and now Los Horses is using 4 beans, and Mr. Elite is running to the centre of the circuit, and there's going to be a drag race down to the Parabolica as well. Los Horses alongside Mr. Elite will have the inside into the Parabolica. He's on the outside, look at that, that's fantastic there, Mr. Elite then, and a great manoeuvre there for Los Horses, fantastic stuff there on the outside, mega stuff indeed. But look, there's a drag race now going down into turn 1, and that Ferrari is slipperier than a slippery thing, fantastic. And Mr. Elite then still in 8th position there. I thought that was going to be an absolutely audacious overtaking manoeuvre there from Los Horses, but Mr. Elite, he came back there, he's got a quick car as they now, Tango is all over the back as well, this is cracking then. Oh my goodness me, a similar manoeuvre to Alonso and Vettel in 2012 and 13, and look at this, open Los Horses are defending for all he's worth. He's got a bit too wide there, and Tango up into a good 8th position or 9th position there. He is in, nope, he's in 9th position there, and getting past it. Nosey! Has Nosey gone off there? I think I just seen a clip there, I think it might have been a leaf, but I'm sure that Nosey might have got a bit of a swapper there, but he's in 11th position then at the moment though, so yes, Nosey's still in 11th position there, slightly out, it's not in the points thus far, is he? Liam is now within half a second then of he's within half a second of Guna, and William is also within half a second of Emerson as well, with 17 laps to go in the Grand Prix. This is very much a straightforward standard 1 stop as far as I can tell at this moment in time there, but safety cars and all that kind of stuff really does throw in a curveball, doesn't it? And talking of pit stops, we have Pease coming into the pits as well there. So Pease is going for the undercut here, isn't he? So he's coming straight quite early. Nosey and Nosey is also in the pits as well, so let's see how powerful the undercut here is, and Pease coming out of the pits and on the medium tyres. Nosey coming in the pits, and there's a lovely shot here from the racing point, then mechanics going to work, then lovely stuff indeed. They've only got 7 more races of the racing point before they turn to the Aston Martin for season 6 of ALR. Exciting times, isn't it? But Liam has also come out of the pits as well. Back at the front then, it's a very intriguing battle, but oh, Mr. Elite has got past them, it's got past Vike, and Vike is down into 7th position now. And yes, now Mr. Elite then, can he now start to sprint away, because he's on the medium tires, he's on the supposed slow tire at the moment, and I feel that this is not where he needs to make hay whilst the sun is shining. And of course, with Nosey coming in the pits not so long ago, remember he is going to be very much lining up the timing sheets, and he's got 11-second deficit as well in front of him, which is perfect, isn't it? It's absolutely perfect for Nosey. Unfortunately, it's not perfect for Peter, because he has to get past Gunnar here. He has got past Gunnar as they go underneath the old banking as well. Good stuff indeed there, but how much time would he have lost then? And now we've got Vike, who's now, oh my goodness me, and once again they're loving the overtake going into the Parabolica, and now as Mr. Elite then, he was almost overtaken here. Look at this, and once again a lovely slingshot there, flying out of the Parabolica into the pits there. Who have we got in the pits? And we've got everyone in the pits, and their dog, whereas Jonathan there is in the Grand Prix at the moment, and Mr. Elite a second, Vike in 3rd position, and he's down from underneath the surface, he's back up into 2nd position. Oh, is he going to slow the car down? No, he hasn't. He's going to have to, he's got over the, he's got a 10-second penalty. That is brutal, isn't it? He snatched the brake there, and look at what's going on in the background. William has taken the lead of the Italian Grand Prix. He does have penalties though. Emerson is down into 2nd position there. We got yellow flags then, got yellow flags in 3, as one of the racing points is recovering there. And who is it? I think it is Diego. Now Vike then, who's got a 10-second penalty. He's going to be furious at that, I feel, isn't he? He's going to be absolutely fuming about that. I'm surprised about that, as Los Souls has gone up and under and got past Tango as well. Into 4th position there. Tango dropping down to 5th position there. Back in the leaders as well. So Emerson has lost the lead, and William is now in the lead, but he does have a 6-second penalty, doesn't he? So remember that indeed. Becca saying that Very harsh, that 10-second penalty. That is harsh indeed, isn't it? That's a brutal penalty. Tango's left for session now. Peace is up into 9th position now. Dynamo Dan dropping down into 10th. There's a Ferrari of Milan. Also trying to come through the field as well. And let's see what Milan can do. My goodness me. I thought he was going straight to the back there, but look, Carboy is on the outside now. The Ascar chicane. Oh, goodness me. Oh, my word. And it's free abreast going down to the power block. And look at this. And Carboy. Oh, wow. And Carboy is in 11th position, and Milan there. Goodness me, how did he survive that? I have no earthly idea. Brilliant stuff indeed. Tango's in the pits, Vike's in the pits as well. I mean, Tango's left for session, but and look, Emerson's back in front of William, and he's back up into 5th position now, and William dropping down to 6th at the moment. And yes, now as Tango's back in the session, and I think that was his out of the pit. I wonder if Tango's going to be a bit unhappy about that then. Remember that, I think it was the Hungarian Grand Prix, wasn't it, where we had a car that in the pits when shouldn't. I think it was Cowie, wasn't it? That was such a shame now for Cowie. That really cost him, didn't it? So Jonathan leads the Grand Prix by 6 seconds at the moment. Now 6.6 seconds to be precise. We got Mr. 8 in second position. Lost Souls in third. He's on a great race, isn't he? Lost Souls is action-packed, very action-packed, isn't it? From start till now. Brilliant 17, lap 13 of the Grand Prix. No safety cars yet. Impressive stuff. And V Todd is going to go very long into the Grand Prix on these hard tires. As Emerson has just got past V Todd there, and he is down into 5th position then. And look, there's William as well. William would like to get past quite quickly because he can see Emerson is just now starting to pull away. William's got another penalty. These penalties are going to be costly. He might lose a podium position at the end of this one. So yes, I think the Williams, but these penalties are hurting the McLaren driver, and that is such a shame, isn't it? And look at this, as he's Williams now on the outside, then he passes V Todd. He is up into 5th position. V Todd dropping down into 6th position. Lost Souls has rolled over the back now once again of Mr. Elite. These two can't leave each other alone. Emerson's at the fast lap of the race. And look at this, Lost Souls is up into 2nd position then. He needs to, can he get away from Mr. Elite? Mr. Elite is once again on an inspired drive, just like last season. He loves this place, doesn't he? That is why he's a Ferrari driver. Magnificent, isn't it, from Mr. Elite? And hopefully he'll be on course there to score some major points there. And then we got a bit of cloud cover over it, but I don't think there's any rain. There's a Mercedes in submission set, and who this is Equals coming into the pit set, and with the Mercedes mechanics are going to work, and there's yellow flags. I wonder if he has spun it then when he was, because it's quite a difficult pit in here, isn't it? You have to slow the car down, don't you, to the pit lane speed limiter, otherwise you will get a drive-through penalty, won't you? And that will very much effectively end your Italian Grand Prix as well. But of course you cannot be too cautious either, otherwise you will lose so much time, won't you, to the car in to the car you'll fight it. And look at this, and then Pisa just breezing by V Todd there. V Todd there is on the hard tyre, isn't he? So of course, so that's why really this is not V Todd's race at the moment, is it? As V Todd there is just going for a longer first stint here. However, I don't think that the hard tyre stint is working out too well for V Todd at the moment, is it? Pisa just adjusting the settings on the steering wheel in the Alfa Romeo. We're on board with Pisa, a former Grand Prix winner. Of course, he won his first Grand Prix of the season, didn't he? Back in the Dutch Grand Prix, and he very much returned with an incredible bang, didn't he? But unfortunately, his season hasn't reached those incredible heights lately, have they, for P's? And he's also been very unlucky as well. Milan up into 7th position and in the Ferrari, getting past V Todd then, as V Todd is now starting to drop down, unfortunately, like a stone in this Grand Prix. Accelerated away, and look at Carboy there on the outside of Curva Grande. He is through, up into 8th position, and V Todd dropping down to 9th. Carboy wants to keep the pressure up, doesn't he, on Milan? Milan and Carboy have got no penalties yet. Delaf is in trouble, and Delaf is, oh goodness me, he's coming to pits, he's called it a day. I'm not sure if there's a technical gremlin or what for the Haas car. He is out there, and what a shame now for Delaf, and that's very disappointing indeed, isn't it, for the Haas car. He was doing a very good job up to that point, wasn't he? So down to 17 cars at this race. So we've lost Pillars and we've lost Vike. We've had 3 cars who had some issues at the beginning of the race then. Kimi and Equaz and Diego came in the pits very early on then. That's why they're slightly out of sync in this race, and they're kind of hoping for a safety car or something to get them back into this Grand Prix, but that's not happening at the moment. So the medium compound runners, and just I was about to say it, Jonathan is in the pits and he is going to have to do 12 laps then on the soft tyres there. Lost Souls also in the pits, so this is exactly the time where it needs to be. And now we've got Emerson leading the race, and with William in second position, Total P's in third there. Milan in 4th position, and Milan is about a couple of seconds back at the moment from P's. And we'll get that third position now. So Jonathan coming out of the pits now. Then let's see where Jonathan is then. Dynamo Dan then is now in at 7th position there. Jonathan is 8th. Nolsey is out in at 9th position there. Jonathan there is in 8th position. So he's had a very strong start to the Grand Prix, Jonathan has. And let's see where he can go from now. Nolsey locking up the inside front once again. And a spectacular camera shots, isn't it? Fantastic. We've got Lost Souls in 10th position. Tango in 11th position. And Mr. Elite in at 12th. And Mr. Elite has found himself behind this battle. But of course, he went long. Now he's on the soft tires, isn't he? So he'll be quicker at this stage of proceedings, won't he? And Gordon saying only 5 seconds of penalties is very impressive. It is indeed. We'll take a look at penalties at nearer the end of the Grand Prix to see who's going to be where. William is, got to say, he's been always within Emerson's DRS range more often than not in the Grand Prix. So William has very much been, he's been in here as he's been thereabouts, hasn't he? Jonathan is now freeing up in 7th position. It's a strong drive for Jonathan, isn't it? This is what he needs, isn't it, in the season then, to get himself away from that relegation zone. Dynamo Dan then in 8th position. He hasn't come in the pits just yet, has he? So he will be in the pits on the softer tyre towards the end of the Grand Prix, but I feel that he's losing a lot of time at this moment, and I think that he ain't going to be able to make that up there. Lovely shot here, and then from the heady cameras, we're just watching the two Italian teams of the AlphaTauri and the Ferrari just slipstream each other going into turn 1. The serious Russian saying that Dynamo is doing a great job. Yes, he is indeed, as he comes now into the pits there on the medium tyres. He'll be on the soft tyres now for the end of the race then. So let's see what Dynamo Dan can do. Can he light up the timing sheet there? Mr. Elite has lightened up my life, and I'm only top into 10th, and fantastic stuff and good stuff indeed there from Mr. Elite. 1.7 seconds of gap between himself and Lost Souls. A great stint there from Mr. Elite, and Tango is now out of the point set. And look at this, Tango's lost a lot of time now, hasn't he? It's on board with Tango. That's why he's using the overtake button, but didn't work out to his advantage there, did it? 10 laps to go in the Grand Prix then. Let's have a quick review of what's going on, shall we? Emerson leads the Grand Prix by 7/10 of a second. Emerson's currently got the 4 house, and he's got pole position, fast lap, and the race win as well. He needs about 44 points-ish. Knowlesy's got a 3-second penalty. That's very unusual for Knowlesy. A very clean driver more often than not. Emerson needs about 44 points, doesn't he? There or thereabouts, if my maths is right, which it probably isn't, to become a double world champion in the next couple of races or two. William in 2nd position. 3rd is Pease, of course, 2. Oh my gosh, they're in Tango just about keeping it out of the barrier there. Oh, goodness gracious me. Also had McLaren in issues as well. Pease in 3rd position there. William is 2nd, and the penalties at the moment, 9 seconds worth of penalties for William. He's going to be dropping down the order. Todd's in the pits. Jonathan's out in his 6th position there. We've got Lost Souls who's all over the back now. Lost Souls set the fast sub race, and he's flying on the soft tires, isn't he? Look at this. He breezes past Knowlesy. He's down into 8th position. And as it stands, unfortunately, in the battle for the World Championship, Knowlesy will lose that 3rd position because Milan is in at 4th as it stands at the moment. But I think Milan will be promoted up to 3rd then with the penalties in front of him. So Knowlesy jumping down to 8th position, but carrying on there. Milan in 4th, Carboy in 5th position there. Carboy will be extending this even 2nd in the championship as well. Good stuff. Jonathan in 6th position. Great to see Jonathan back in the sharp end of the field. Lost Souls is 8th finisher. On board with Knowlesy. He's in 9th position. He's got a 3-second penalty, unfortunately, for Lost Souls. Same with Knowlesy. Same with Lost Souls and Jonathan as well. And 9th position is Mr. Elite. He's on soft tires. He is flying along nicely in the 2nd Ferrari. A good day for the Ferrari team. They're 9th in the Constructors' Championship, but I think they'll be very happy with this. 10th position is Tango. 11th position is Liam with 12th position V Todd. Then V Todd's got 9 seconds between himself and V Todd, between himself and points then potentially, if we can just keep it going there as well. But that is a lot of ground to make up with 9 laps to go or so. But I'm sure V Todd can definitely, he's very quick on a 1 lap, isn't he, V Todd? So do not go anywhere, folks said. And this has been a very good Grand Prix as we're flying by, and we're only 5 to 9 UK time here, and we're already over halfway through the Grand Prix. Look in the background, Jonathan is the highest of the runners on the soft tires, and Lost Souls is also being towed along nicely. Those couple of drivers there are going to be a 4 in the side then for the likes of Carboy and Milan in the not too distant future. So we'll see how this one plays out. Of course, they're on the medium tires, so top 5 are Jonathan and Lost Souls on the soft tires. They've had a very good Grand Prix, both those drivers have, haven't they? Lost Souls at the moment, my driver today, is doing a great job in the Red Bull racing car. And Emerson is now a second in front of William. William, but as you can see, it just yo-yos around, doesn't it? I think this has been a very impressive performance from William. Unfortunately, I think this is one of the best Grand Prix he's had in his ALR career. Unfortunately for William, though, he does have 9 seconds worth of penalty time, so that will drop him down quite a bit. I think he'll be about 5th position by the end with the race finished now. So it's a shame for William, but he'll be very happy to get some points on the board for himself and for the McLaren team then. And we're just now watching Cartboy into the Parabolica. I'm just keeping up with Milan then. Milan is just about, well, he's in the DRS zone. Cartboy is in Milan's DRS zone. Cartboy is. Jonathan's got a 3-second penalty that could ruin and spoil the very good days having for the British Italian driver. There he is in the background. Jonathan is be kicking himself for that one. I wonder if he went wide into the Parabolica, and that may have cost an Tango back in the session then. So but I think the Tango is going to be very nervous about the rate that V Todd's gaining, because he's now 1.5 seconds behind Liam, and Liam is only 5 seconds behind Tango as well. So V Todd could potentially get some points, and it could be a double points finish then for the Alfa Romeo team with we're on lap 20 of the Grand Prix, and we've got 2 retirements, and we have lost Vike de Laffen. He came in the pits and retired, and I'm not sure if he had a technical grounding or whatnot, but he's out of the Grand Prix. And Pillars, the big smash right from the get-go on lap 1 there, and that was such a shame, wasn't it, for Pillars. Look at how overcast has come out there. I don't think there's been any mention of rain now. Kimi having a penalty as well on his debut, and unfortunately Kimi was involved in some first lap mayhem, and so was Diego in equal as well. But hats off to him for keeping going. And this race, anything could happen with 7 laps to go. We could have a safety car which could really bring him back into the fight, of course, then. But so keep an eye out for that then, and that would very much shake things up, because the leaders have been very close together throughout this race, haven't they? Of course, the top 3 within like a second or more of each other. It's been a whisker, hasn't it? Then we've watching this battle between Cartboy and Milan, and this is the battle for 4th and 5th, and none of these drivers have got penalties, and potentially both of these drivers could actually get onto the podium, albeit Pease has stretched his advantage at the moment then, and now Pease will be in a second position then. So I think the Pease then could potentially would be very happy with this there, and maybe some decent points there from the Alfa Romeo outfit, and for Pease himself, of course. Cartboy, and that's what half a second looks like then from the top helicam shot here in Monza, and it is Milan then who is still just keeping him at bay, and that's exactly what he's doing. Mr. Elite, though, I think is going to be to return our attention to the battle for 8th and 9th, and lovely shot here from the Ferrari. Of course, Ferrari are going to be very much centre of our attention for all of the ALR races here this week. We are here in gold then for Sunday night, of course, and Monday. Tomorrow is silver, isn't it? Where we've got a great battle between Troy and X Gamer, haven't we, for the championship? But both drivers have, unfortunately, Troy has been having a bit of a difficult spell as of late, hasn't he? Let's see if we can get back on the saddle here tomorrow night as well. We have also got bronze on Tuesday, haven't we? Where we have had 9 different podium sitters in the first 3 races. That's absolutely ridiculous, isn't it? It really is indeed. And we've also Chris Mace has dominated the qualifying session, but unfortunately struggled to get the race result out for the Ferrari team. But I think that both Ferraris have potential. And just as what's happening here, and Milan has dropped down into 5th position there. Cartboy has gone up into 4th there. That is 4th position there. And Cartboy now, as he is now going to be on the podium. That is a battle for the net podium here, with William getting a lot of penalties to his name. So that is a big blow for Milan, and a big blow for the Tifosi as well, who wanted to see the Ferrari team on the podium, didn't they? And now V-Top then out of this slipstream as well. Liam, dropping down into top position. V-Todd up into 11th now. His quest for the points then carries on, because up next is Tango. 4 seconds the gap is. See if V-Todd can achieve his quest for pointage at the end of this Grand Prix. So Tango then is going to be looking very much over his shoulder then. Going back to the spot here, Pease and William there are still very much within the vicinity. Oh, I've broken the bed again. V-Todd is, oh no, where am I? Milan is very much in the facility of Cartboy, but no, I was saying about Pease. I was very much in the facility of William and Emerson there. So Pease might potentially be able to steal one here if the cards really play out the way he wants them to. Of course, he does have a penalty there, doesn't he? Pease and William both have penalties, but Pease does have a 3-second one, whilst William has a 9-second penalty, doesn't he? So the as the overcast is now starting to clear up slightly, isn't it? And the sun is now starting to burst out here in the beautiful Monza Park. And Milan there having a look down into turn 1 then, and looking up the inside front. Same with Kart Boy as well, but they are not gaining on the two in front there, so this is the battle for the final podium place there. Jonathan is about less than half as Tango's up for session there. That's going to be helpful for Vitod, and Tango may not get any points. And Vitod's also got the fast lap of race there. Vitod has a couple of fastest laps under his belt already in silver, doesn't he? So he'd love to have another one here in gold tonight, won't he? But Vitod then is look at that, and it's less than a second and a half back now. Jonathan is now 4.4 seconds away from these two as well. As Kimi has retired from the session. He's gone for the big way there. Oh my word, there's not going to be a safety car just on board now. Then of course we've got a couple of laps to go, and I figure it should be cleared out the second left, but it's a big smash there unfortunately, and that's a blow for Kimi Matev on his debut here in ALR. He was involved in some first lap shenanigans, and now figures are very much an uphill battle since then. Then Vitod there going underneath the rear wing. Yes, the car has been cleared. Then Vitod is now up into 10th position. Now Tango has been robbed of that final 10th position there with technical gremlins once again then, which is really hurting this season, isn't it, in the AlphaTauri. And Vitod then, a great drive from Vitod. It's not very good tenacity as well. Williams now within 3/10 of a second, 4/10 of a second. Look how close it is. We've also got Milan and Kart Boy as well. Oh, this is going to be a dramatic end then to the Grand Prix, isn't it, here in ALR? And look at this, and William then is 4/10 of a second away, but he has to gain 9 seconds over Emerson if he wants to win the Grand Prix, which I've got to say, that is that might be a bit of a stretch there for William, but this is a brilliant day today for William, isn't it? Yes, the 9-second penalties are going to really put a bit of a stain on his perfect day. But I think but this is a valuable point there, and this will lift William off the bottom of the World Championship in the McLaren, and also McLaren would love to get some good points as well, because they are third in the constructors at the moment, aren't they? As they have been dropping it lately. Look at this then, and this is the battle for the top 3 as well. We haven't seen much of the top 3, have we? As they've been yo-yoing around, but now this is going to be very much our focus to the end of the Grand Prix, I would say. And look at this then, and now then Emerson is coming under increasing threat now, but he does know though about the 9 seconds of penalties, I foresee, as he does have the graphic, doesn't he, which tells him about William and Pease's penalty, so he's not going to be too concerned, I don't think, but he would but of course he would love to cross the line first visually. And as we've got 3 retirements in the Grand Prix, as Tango's now dropped down into 12th position there, William there, but look at this, Emerson's just doing exactly enough there, isn't he, on the main start finish straight. Look at those brake discs glowing there on the Renault car, and Emerson with the Italian inspired helmet there, and he's going to go for a second Grand Prix win here. 2 for him in 2 seasons, and he's going to win this Italian Grand Prix. He's been on pole position for the last 2 seasons, and he's potentially going for a second Grand Prix win around here again. And it would take his season tally to 9 Grand Prix wins, his career tally to 27 Grand Prix win in 27 Grand Prix win in his 73rd start. That is absolutely extraordinary numbers, isn't it, for Emerson? And amazing stuff indeed. And Tango's back in front of Liam yet, and so Tango back up into 11th position, but he's now lost a lot of time, hasn't he, he's now lost a lot of time, hasn't he, to unfortunately to Vitod. Then on board Mr. Elite, and he's also given a bit of a squeeze, isn't he, to Knowles at the moment. Knowlesy, look at that car, he's strung to a turn there into the first Lesmo there. Now it's going to really put a smile on Mr. Elite's face for maybe some more points on the board. Then Jonathan there is still too far back. I think he's going to run out of laps, unfortunately, rather than he's going to run out of laps, I think, for Jonathan then. And Mr. Elite is through then, just like Sniff. Oh, look at this, he's gone through, going into the Ascara chicane then. So Mr. Elite is now up into 8th position there. Good stuff indeed there, but Knowlesy would like to come back at him, I'm sure of it. Yes, but Knowlesy there just hasn't got the traction as they are the Ascara chicane. The Ferrari is now up. This is a strong performance from both Mr. Elite and from Milan, and good stuff here tonight then. But Milan is currently not on the podium, is he? And he wants to, and he would love to be on the podium here for Ferrari tonight, doesn't he? Lap 26 out of 27 then, and I think that Knowlesy is back through, he's back past then, and look, there's his teammate, yellow flag in free, as we've had an issue. Gunner's out of the race then with just a 1 lap to go there. He's got off of the Ascari chicane there. Oh goodness me. And yes, let's take a look there. Of course, he's another victim of that Ascari chicane, and yeah, that's a shame now for Gunner. What a shame. And we've got we got a, I don't think we got a virtual safety car. I think the cars are just slowing down there. But look, as Nolte has gone back into a position now whilst he was watching to see what's going on with Gunnar. Gunnar's car has been moved, hasn't it? So I'm trying to flick backwards and forwards because we've got a great end to the Italian Grand Prix. This race has been so close, hasn't it? Between the top three, hasn't it? But Emerson is leading, going into the Parabolica on lap 26, out of 27, and flicking it in to the Parabolica, accelerated away. Then we got William in second position. Third position is Total Peas, and I think Total Peas is got a net second anyway, hasn't he? But of course, he would love to get it on the road as well. Let's see if he can do it. And he's going alongside William as he knows he's too far back. 15 cars remain. He's out of lunge into turn one. Peas is locking up the inside front, up the inside track position there. He is through and up into second position there. Of course, there's it was he didn't need to do that maneuver, did he? Total Peas, but of course, he would love to have done it on the track, wouldn't he? And the Ferrari then of Mr. Elite then dropping back down into ninth position then as well then. So let's take a look at the penalties then. So Mr. Elite and Nolte does have 3 seconds of penalties. Lost Souls and Jonathan has 6 seconds worth of penalties. That shouldn't cost them track position, I don't think. And Liam is out of the race then with 1 lap to go there for William now. So for Liam, yeah, that's a shame there, isn't it? And I know that is a shame there for Liam. He wasn't getting any points, was he? On board with Emerson, he is certainly getting some points. He's getting the 4 works, isn't he? Once again, he ain't gonna get the fastest up, unfortunately, but he does. He's got pole position. He does that. He also potentially has the race wing. He's got 1 more corner to go there. As Pease and William have been following for the majority of this Grand Prix, haven't they? But Emerson there, and look, Cardboy is really pulling a spurt in the final couple of laps or so, hasn't he? So Cardboy might potentially be moving up into second here. We'll keep an eye on that. Emerson out of the final turn, and Emerson wins the Italian Grand Prix for the 2nd time in his career. A brilliant performance there for Emerson, and so the 2nd year in a row. Cardboy missed out on second position by 14 hundredths of a second now, and William has dropped down to 5th, but that is some good points there for the McLaren team. Excellent stuff indeed there. But it's Emerson there winning the 9th Grand Prix of the season in 15 races there. Emerson, this has been his season, hasn't it? And he's taken another step closer to becoming the world champion, hasn't he? Put it saying GGM, a great drive. It was a very controlled drive, wasn't it, for Emerson? He was under the cosh, wasn't he, for majority of the race there, but he didn't panic at all there. It looks like he was saving up the earth for most of the straight, wasn't he? So Emerson there was not really in, I don't think he was in too much danger or too concerned, was he? Especially with the penalties that Total Peace and William there mounted up then in the throughout the Grand Prix. So I'm just waiting for you, class to come on the Parabolic. That is Emerson's 27th Grand Prix win now of his career then. And as I've mentioned, he could potentially become the world champion of double world champion at the Singapore Grand Prix in a week's time then. And that'll be the earliest ever world champion in gold then. Absolutely mega stuff indeed then. I think that will also equal Glock as well, actually, thinking about it. But we'll talk more about that a bit later on then. Lost Souls gets driver of the day then. Fantastic stuff for Lost Souls. I think he had a very strong and conserved drive as well. Total Peace then for the Alfa Romeo team. These are good points for the Alfa Romeo. Great points for Cartboy as well, as he extends his lead in second in the championship as well. So Cartboy very much once again showing that he has got some very consistent pace, hasn't he? And that is actually Cartboy's 8th podium of the season. And the only man who's got more podiums than that is, of course, Emerson, who has 14 podiums this season. And that'll be Total Peace's 5th podium in the season as well. Let's take a final look at the classification, shall we, from the Italian Grand Prix here in gold then. So Emerson there won the Grand Prix then. His 9th Grand Prix win the season, fantastic. Second finisher was Total Peace, and he did have a 3 second, but it didn't make too much odds there to his final finishing position. Cardboy in 3rd position, a great performance once again for Cardboy. Milan in 4th position, just missed that podium for the Ferrari team, a bit of a shame there. William gets his first points of his season here in the McLaren team, and that will lift him off the bottom of the championship. Jonathan, great to see him back in the top 10 as well. A good performance there for Jonathan on his home track then. Lost Souls in 7th position, he gets the driver of the day from 5th 15th to 7th. Good stuff indeed. Nosey dropped all the way to the back of the field, but carved his way back through the field nicely to finish 8th. Unfortunately, he's lost third in the Drivers' Championship now. Mr. Elite in 9th, completing a very strong day for the Ferrari team. V-Todd fastest up and getting a strong performance in 10th as well. Tango Technical Gremlins once again marred his Grand Prix, and he's dropped out in the 11th position. Dynamo Dan, I think a very strong finish there for Dynamo Dan from 19th to 12th. Good stuff. Equals in 13th position. Diego in 14th. Retirements. Liam retired on the last lap. Then Goon had a crash. Kimmy Marsh made his out of the Grand Prix with Delaf, and Infamous Pillars also retired on the opening lap in what could have been if Pillars was still in the Grand Prix. Gio saying Emerson is the Hamilton of ALR, always winning. But of course, can anyone stop Emerson at the moment? And that is the question that I'm going to pose to him now. Then, Emerson, then you have joined us in the gantry tonight. And fantastic 17th, as I said, the national 9th Grand Prix winner of the season.
Yeah, again, it wasn't the easiest race, as comfortable it probably looked, but Pillars was right on my diffuser in that first stint until we unfortunately did put it on the wall. But yeah, I just kind of once again minimised penalties, stuck to my strategy. Will, obviously, I know he got that penalty from lap 1, so he was kind of just sitting in my DRS for a lot of the race. So, and I know he wasn't really going to try and push it because he got another penalty afterwards as well. So it was probably beneficial for him to sit in the DRS and kind of pull each other along a little bit. But yeah, relatively straightforward race, and it's a really good point for the championship. Yeah, really happy with it, to be honest.
Yeah, it's really good stuff indeed. And I think that if my maths is right, you can win the championship in Singapore in a week's time.
Is that correct? I don't know. I'll have to work that out maybe. But yeah, that'd be amazing if it's true. But yeah, it's been an incredible season so far, and taking every race as it comes, and yeah, just having fun.
Brilliant stuff indeed then, and it did seem like a straightforward race. Having said that there, William was quite William and Total Peas towards the end as well. You didn't really have much of a big lead there. Was that because you was just pacing yourself?
Yeah, relatively. It's quite hard to manage the fuel around here because obviously you're on full throttle for like pretty much well, most of the lap at the end of the day. So yeah, it got towards the end and that's start saving a little bit of fuel, but the DRS is just super powerful around here, and I thought I was running a relatively slippery car with 2.4 wings, I think I was running, which made it quite comfortable through the Lesmos and through the Ascari chicane. I think I only got one warning throughout the race, and yeah, it's quite crucial not to get many penalties. Well, not just this track, but most tracks, to be honest. So that's what I try and do most of the time, is run a setup that's a little bit more comfortable, maybe costs a little bit of time, but I think it's worth it in the course of the race, purely for the fact that you don't get those penalties and don't drop back if there's a late safety car, or if someone does manage to close up on you and they've got penalties and you don't. Yeah, it's 3 seconds is quite a lot, so I more prefer a comfy setup than a risky setup.
And just going into Singapore, if my maths is correct, which it might be completely wrong, how are you going to approach that race next week?
Same, it's every week. Practice like hell throughout the week. Get pole position. It's a bit of a difficult strategy around there, and I don't think I've done a lot of racing around Singapore on this game. I think I've only done like one league race. I think that was even in F2 cars, so I haven't really done a lot of running around it. So I think I missed it last season. So yeah, I need to get some laps in over the course of the week and get up to scratch around Singapore and hopefully wrap it up there.
Brilliant stuff.
We'll move on to the next week. Sorry.
How dare you? Well done, Emerson. Fantastic stuff. Let's come to Peas, who's gone to the Alfa Romeo. Then, goodness me, Peas, I can't keep up which team you're driving for these days. But a good second today, natural 5th podium of the season, and it looks like that you really put a spurt on towards the end now. Did you must have known about Williams' penalties, did you, or did you just feel like you wanted to overtake him on track?
I knew about his penalties, but my problem was Cartboy was pushing me because he didn't have a penalty. I had a penalty, and he was tinkering between over and under 3 seconds. So I had to overtake Will just so I can gain some more time. And in the end, I think I only got second by like 14 thousandths off Cartboy, which was a really tense ending. But yeah, I'm happy I got second.
And yeah, overall, your overall season, then you got your fifth podium this season, and you did get you burst onto the scene very nicely indeed in the Dutch Grand Prix, getting a win on your first race. Overall, how would you feel your season's gone then? I think it's been pretty competitive, but are you a bit disappointed with what's happened this season?
Yeah, I mean, I could have won a few races. Like Hungary, for example, Emerson played the strat where we undercut me, took the lead, and then from there, he was just in the commanding position to win the race. Same with a hit, and there's been tracks where my qualifying's let me down. Like today, for example, I qualified much further down than I really should have been, which made my race a lot harder. I was stuck in a train of three for the whole first stint. That's why I had to go for the early undercut. But it's been an alright season, but yeah, definitely could have been better.
Yeah, I pose that question to you because I feel that a lot of our fans probably think that you're definitely going to be a challenger for Emerson in the not too distant future, maybe in the F1 2021 game in season 6. Would you agree with that statement?
Yes.
Excellent. Really good stuff indeed. Well done, Pete, today on your second position there. Yes, very close between yourself and Cartboy. Cartboy finished third today and is and really put a grip on that second position in the World Championship. Good stuff indeed. Tomorrow night we are back in action for the silver. I think it is. It is indeed silver, isn't it? Gamer and Troy has been a bit of a difficult spell lately, haven't they? Can they get back to winning ways? We'll see you tomorrow night, 7:30 UK time. Goodbye.